your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events most of all. Thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Hey, Josh, do we have a happy birthday music? I don't know if we have happy birthday music. No birthday music on our sound system here. Okay, we'll have to put that one in. It is Mickey Mouse's birthday today. So we're just gonna say it's a Mickey Mouse birthday. Mickey Mouse 95. Holy cow! Happy birthday, Mickey! I have not heard from Mitchell yet today. I wonder, Mitchell works over at Disneyland, so I'm wondering if maybe they're gonna have some sort of a birthday celebration for Mickey there. I don't know. I don't know this one. I've got all boys, so I wouldn't have known this one. National Princess Day. So, got 3 sons, 2 grandsons. So princesses were not necessarily on our radar. National Princess Day. And I don't know about this one either because it seems a little odd to me. National Vichyssoise Day. Okay, so if you've never heard of Vichyssoise, which I have not, although I think we probably celebrated this last year too, Josh, maybe the years before. And no, I don't remember how to say it ever, so I have to look it up every single time. But it's recognized a cold soup. Why would you have a cold soup? I don't know about where you are right now. I'm just looking. It's 54 degrees right here in Anaheim where I'm broadcasting. 54 degrees. So it's pureed leeks, onions, potatoes, cream and chicken stock, served cold though sometimes it's eaten hot. I don't know about that one. But, as they say, I guess we just have to go with, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 26.6. S&P 500 is up 22. The NASDAQ is up 118. Oil up $1.84 a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, it's pretty flat, 4.432 as we speak right now, 4.432. Are we past the elections? Well, I guess before we get into that, who watched the fight on Friday night? Or who watched Netflix buffering on Friday night? I talk about it. So here's the issue, because if you're laughing at Netflix, as I did, you start looking at it and you say, okay, they have this fiasco of a fight or a presentation. Of course, the fight was pretty much of a fiasco too. And then everybody if you watched on Twitter or X or whatever they call it, it's blowing up over the buffering. Facebook pages are blowing up over the buffering because they didn't have enough bandwidth apparently to stream something like that. So the fight gets that's what, 60 or 70 million people watching the fight. Might have been more. You get Twitter going crazy over it. You get Instagram, Facebook, all going crazy over it. The next day, everybody's laughing at the whole scenario over what a joke it was. And Netflix is up $18 a share right now, up 2.2%. So who got the last laugh on this one? Netflix stock is up and everybody else is laughing. And I saw that there's another, Josh, maybe you could find this quickly for me. There's another old MMA guy. So what's his name? Jake Paul, who was fought Tyson and set this whole thing up. Pretty brilliant when it comes to marketing because he's not really much of a fighter. From what I understand, he's had one real fight and a bunch of pansies. Now, Mike Tyson at age 58, I don't think Jake Paul would have wanted to get into a ring with him. But the MMA fighter, big time MMA fighter, who's now retired also. So Jake Paul is now offering, Conor McGregor. Thanks, Josh. So Conor McGregor, and how old is he? So Jake Paul says, well, I want to fight Conor McGregor in an MMA fight. Now, the irony is Jake Paul is 220 some pounds. Conor McGregor, when he fought, was 170 some pounds and 369. He's 36. Okay. So he's 36 years old. Not as bad as Tyson. I don't know if Jake Paul really wants to get in the ring with Conor McGregor, even giving up 50 pounds. But it's brilliant because McGregor's got a massive name. Jake Paul wishes he had as big a name as Mike Tyson, or now maybe some of the younger folk who are more into the streaming and what do they call them, influencers. Maybe they know Jake Paul, but I had to Google them, and then I didn't know much, so I had to go into ChatGPT and Perplexity. Anybody use Perplexity? That's a pretty good AI app as well. So you have to look up all these to figure out who is Jake Paul. Conor McGregor? No, you don't have to look anything up. You know who that is. Mike Tyson? I think even younger people. Now my son, my oldest, is 35. He knows who Mike Tyson is. Of course, he knew Jake Paul also. But the bottom line is it was a kind of a fiasco. But I guess the big winner was Netflix. I'm going to also say that the big loser in the thing was once again the boxing world. Because once again, you look at a fight and anybody with half a brain, which I guess once you've been fighting any length of time, that's all you have left is half a brain. It would look at that fight, the undercard, and look and say, who won that fight? It was pretty simple who won that fight. But the judges, they didn't see it that way. You look at the stats, there was a clear-cut winner. You look at who was doing the punching at the end, there was a clear-cut winner. I don't know. Yet they give it to somebody else. And what's her name? Katie something. Katie and Amanda, I guess, are the names. But Katie, I guess, has now been suspended from fighting. I just saw that this morning. Suspended from fighting. I guess when she headbutts everybody. I guess that's not part of fighting. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got a very interesting broadcast for you this morning. We're going to introduce you to a new segment. Who do you know? That's the new segment that we're going to talk about today. Who do you know? More homes, slower price growth, what it means for you as a buyer. Don't let these two concerns hold you back from selling your house. And new changes in California and national real estate. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 1990 or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the Your Credit Matters. I'm sorry, the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates, with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did rates do on Friday? Most recent data available. 1 day away, one business day. Conventional 30-year fixed rate, 6.826. That was up. 30-year jumbo fixed, 7.10. That was up. 30-year FHA fixed, 6.439. That was up. 30-year VA fixed, 6.268. That was down like that. USDA 30-year fixed, 6.639. That was up. Yeah, well, we got VA down. All the rest of them were up. Now, that is the number you put into your mortgage calculator to get your principal and interest payment. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, ronismylender.com. That's our mobile app. ronismylender.com, our mobile app. And there is a mortgage calculator right on there. Additionally, if you want our thoughts about the market, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets right now as we speak. We've got if I can get it on my screen here. Why am I not seeing this? The S&P 500. Well, we'll get back to that. 10-year Treasury, 4.438. That's up a little bit. We've got the mortgage-backed securities, the bond, 9.885. Watching all of these for you. Now, the question becomes, what's driving all of this? That's what we always want to find out, because all the when I give you numbers and things, now I know it's hard to find them all. But if I give you numbers, you can find all of them on that super secret website, google.com. They're all there. The question is, can you find out why they're doing what they're doing? And yes, the S&P 500 is now up 24.24. So economists say inflation is coming down, but consumers are not quite feeling the same thing. Why? Well, you have to understand inflation. The rate of inflation has been decelerating, meaning the prices are rising at a slower rate than they were, but prices are still going up. There is a difference between the rate of inflation slowing versus the cumulative impact of inflation, which consumers feel. Make sure to check out the charts that we're going to put on social media later today, and we're going to make sure that you have all that information. Think of this. So if inflation hits, and I'm going to use round numbers. So let's just say, and I know that they're not exactly correct, but say a package of eggs, and I think at Costco there's 18 in a pack, and they cost $5. And we've got 5% inflation. Okay, so now they're going to be 5% of $5.75. Is my math right? Probably not. 25 cents. Whatever. 25 cents. Now they're 5.25. But now say they only go up 5% next month or 3%. Well, the rate of inflation has gone down, but you're going to add that 3% to the 5.25. Now you're at 5.40. Think about that's the way it goes. So even though the rate is going down, it doesn't mean that the prices are going down. They're not growing as quick. They're going up as quickly. The easier analogy that we use all the time on Ron Siegel Radio, driving down the freeway at 75, but you're in a 65 zone. And all of a sudden you see along the side of the road, there's a police officer. You slow down to 65. Are you going backwards? Or did you just slow down your rate of speed? Same concept when we're talking about inflation. Now, inflation is something that the bond market pays close attention to because long duration bond, like a mortgage-backed security, pays a fixed payment over 30 years. As inflation rises, it erodes the purchasing power of that fixed return, which is why mortgage-backed securities are so sensitive to inflation. Let's hope that rate of change continues to come down and get to that 2% or lower. One of the best hedges against inflation is buying assets that do better than the rate of inflation and protect your buying power. Perhaps one of the best is purchasing a home, which is much better than the alternative of renting. If you compare the net worth of a renter versus a homeowner, the disparity has continued to grow. 2019, homeowner has 40 times net worth of a renter. 2024, the homeowner has 42 times net worth of a renter. The absolute level of net worth has also grown impressively for homeowners as homes have appreciated significantly over the last several years. As a result of higher home prices and rate affordability has gotten worse, which has caused the median age of a first-time home buyer to rise. Just 3 years ago, it was 33, but that's gone up to 38. This has some implications. While you don't want to exclude marketing efforts to younger buyers, there should be potentially more of a focus to slightly older buyers. That's why we're going to talk about some older issues later in the broadcast. Additionally, there are demographic implications. With the median age of first-time home buyers now 38 years old, that means that starting next year, they would have been born in 1987. Now, you got to look at a chart of how many people were born in 1987 to see where the pent-up demand is. See, a lot of folks just look at these things and they say from just going from a thought process of, well, I don't think we're going to see rates come down, or I think we're going to see rates come down. Stop thinking. Start looking at data. That's where the important part comes up from. And if you look there, we've got charts, and we're going to share some more of them later in the day today. But we can actually see in various charts the birth rate in 1987. And we see that we've got some high birth numbers, and it continues to accelerate from there. Now, when we start looking at those things, that tells us there's a lot of pent-up demand in home buyers, which is good for the market, right? It continues to tell us that even because we're not building as many homes as we need, and we've got people getting older as they tend to do, well, the more that happens, the better it is. We start seeing more and more people coming into the market. And if we don't have enough properties, that's called economics 101, supply and demand. And as we see a diminished amount of supply and an increase in the demand, prices have to continue to go up. Now, we're going to see that there's going to be some folks, and I've been sharing this with you, that the Economic Bureau of the Bureau of Economic Research is going to call that we've been in a recession. And there's more and more people starting to say, well, we're going to see a recession in 2025. Well, we're already seeing some of the things that happen that are very, very typical of recessions. They're already in the market. So as we see those things, well, okay, so the affordability might get tougher. I saw a chart the other day, 24% of the people, 24% of the population are afraid of losing their job. Now look around. If you're not afraid of losing your job, 2 people on your left and 1 on your right probably are, or vice versa. It's Monday morning. You got to get the math right on these things. So if there's 4 people in a row and you're not afraid of losing your job, well, one of those other 3 are. That's the way these things go. So the bottom line here is even though prices may come down because of job loss and recession, we're still going to see the fact that the prices will continue to go up because there's just not enough inventory, new inventory and existing inventory available for sale for the amount of population growth and pent-up demand. All just right there to be seen, and a lot of people are just not looking at these things. So, if you're thinking about buying a house, one of the things I'm going to share with you is, and we're going to talk about this in just a second here, one of the things that you've got to really, really be careful of. Well, I'll get to it. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. A lot of changes coming in real estate. There's already been quite a few of them. But what I want to chat with you about today is something maybe you don't know about, because if you haven't been watching the news, and why would you, over the last 7 or 8 months with regard to real estate, October 31st last year, there was a judgment on what's called the Sitzer-Burnett case. And that basically was saying that there was collusion in real estate pricing, that the realtors set prices for both the seller and the buyer. Well, it's always been negotiable. But there's been, up to August 17th, a lot of changes. This last August 17th, a lot of changes took place. And I guess we're going to have to talk about this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Understanding new changes in real estate, what home buyers need to know for 2025. And don't let these 2 concerns hold you back from selling your house. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Let's see what we've got as our subject for today. Don't let these 2 concerns hold you back from selling your house. If you're debating whether or not you want to sell right now, it might be because you've got some unanswered questions. Like, if moving, it really makes sense in today's market. Maybe you're wondering it's even a good idea to move right now. Or you're stressed because you think you won't find the house you like. To put your mind at ease, here's how to tackle these 2 concerns head on. Is it even a good idea to move right now? If you own a home already, You may have been holding off because you don't want to sell and take on a higher mortgage rate on your next house. But your move may be a lot more feasible than you think, and that's because of your equity. Equity is the current market value of your home minus what you still owe on your loan. And thanks to the rapid appreciation we saw over the past few years, your equity has gotten a big boost. Just how much are we talking about? See for yourself. As Dr. Selma Hepp, chief economist at CoreLogic, explains, quote, persistent home price growth has continued to fuel equity gains for existing homeowners who now average about $315,000 in equity and almost $129,000 more than at the onset of the pandemic, unquote. Here's why this can be such a game changer when you sell. You can use that equity to put down a larger amount on your next home, which means financing less at today's mortgage rate. And in some cases, you may even be able to buy your next home in cash, avoiding mortgage rates altogether. The bottom line, your equity could be the key to making your next move possible. Will I be able to find a home I like? If this is on your mind, it's probably because you remember just how low the supply of homes for sale got over the past few years. It felt nearly impossible to find a home to buy because there were so few available. But finding a home in today's market isn't as challenging. That's because the number of homes for sale is growing, giving you more options to choose from. Data from Realtor.com shows just how much inventory has increased. It's up almost 30% year over year. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, or ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart of the supply of homes for sale is growing, but still below the numbers seen in more normal years. And even though inventory is still below pre-pandemic levels, this is the highest it's been in quite a while. That means you have more options for your move, but your house should still stand out to buyers at the same time. That's a sweet spot for you. It's important to note that although that this balance varies by local market, some places may have more homes for sale than others. So work with a local real estate agent is the best way to see what inventory trends look like in your area. Want to find out what the market's like in your area? Well, not only is working with a real estate agent a good idea, you can get that information for free. RSR Market Report, rsrlinks.com/market report, rsrlinks.com/market report. Our friends over at Altos Research, they follow every home for sale every week, and they put it into a new report that comes out every week. rsrlinks.com/market report, rsrlinks.com/market report. That's also included when we send out the detail of our daily report on our market minute. That's on the dashboard right there for you as well. So you can actually watch a video from our friends over at Altos. Also, if you're considering a real estate agent, I think I saw just recently in data that like 70% of the real estate agents have done no transactions. None. Got a license, but don't do the business. 70%. So what do we have at Ron Siegel Radio? We have a real estate track record. If you want to know the track record of any real estate agent or almost every real estate agent in the country, we have that report available and we can give that to you for free. Bottom line, if you're thinking about selling, hopefully these concerns haven't kept you up at night. With this information, you should realize you don't have to let the what ifs delay your move anymore. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and we will chat about your game plan. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. So understanding new changes in real estate, what home buyers need to know for 2025. The world of real estate is undergoing significant changes that will reshape how buyers and their agents navigate property transactions. If you're planning to buy a home in 2025 or beyond, understanding these new rules can empower you to make informed decisions and build wealth through strategic debt management. Ron Siegel Radio, we're committed to helping you navigate these changes with confidence. Here's what you need to know. The shift in buyer representation and compensation. Historically, the seller and their agent determine how much both the sellers and buyers' agents were paid during a real estate transaction. Buyers were often unaware of the commission structure, which was built into the home sales price. However, following a recent nationwide settlement addressing allegations of anti-competitive practices in real estate, this process has been turned on its head. What's changing? Starting January 2025, buyers will take the reins in negotiating compensation for their agents. This change aligns with California's new law, Assembly Bill AB 2992, which mandates written agreements between buyers and their agents. Here's a breakdown of the key points. Buyer broker representation agreements. Agents must have signed agreements with their buyer clients. These agreements will outline the service provided, the agent's compensation, and when compensation is due. The agreements cannot exceed 3 months unless renewed. Transparency in compensation. Buyers and agents will negotiate directly on compensation terms, removing sellers from the equation. Buyers can opt to pay out of pocket, request the seller to cover some or all of the costs as a seller concession, or negotiate dual agency representation, although this requires clear disclosure and consent. Flexibility for buyers. If terms can't be agreed upon, buyers may explore other options, including proceeding without representation or walking away from a property. What does this mean for home buyers? These changes may feel overwhelming, but they offer an opportunity for buyers to take control of the process and ensure their interests are well represented. However, with this empowerment comes responsibility. Buyers must understand costs, be prepared to discuss and negotiate how their agent will be compensated. Transparency from both sides is key to avoiding disputes or surprises. Ask questions. Your agent is there to guide you. Make sure you understand what services they will provide and how much it will cost. Leverage expert guidance. Work with an agent who prioritizes your goals and helps you navigate these changes strategically. Avoiding pitfalls. With any major shift, there are potential risks. Here are some practices buyers and agents should avoid. Assuming standard rates. Commissions are, and always have been, fully negotiable. Be wary of anyone who claims otherwise. Failing to document agreements, verbal agreements, or informal changes via text or email can lead to disputes. Always get it in writing. Ignoring dual agency disclosure. If your agent represents both you and the seller, this must be disclosed in writing to protect your interests. At Ron Siegel Radio, we specialize in helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. As a certified liability advisor, CLA, we guide you through these changes, ensuring your financial health remains a top priority. Whether you're buying your first home or planning your retirement, we're simply here to simplify the process and keep you informed. Navigating the evolving real estate landscape requires expert insight, and we're here to provide it. Tune in to Ron Siegel Radio for more tips, updates, and strategies to make the most of your real estate journey, or give me a call anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 for personalized guidance and to learn more about strategic debt management. Connect with us today. Let's work together to turn these changes into opportunities for building lasting wealth. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more home sales price growth, what it means for you as a buyer, and helping mom and dad move. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Who Do You Know segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Helping mom and dad move. What really matters for seniors or their families? The idea of leaving a home after decades can feel overwhelming. It's not just a house, it's a place where memories are made. Children grew up and a lifetime unfolded. If you or your parents are facing this decision, let's talk about how to move forward with purpose and without fear. For seniors, the thought of leaving a beloved home often brings up deep emotional concerns. It's where holidays are celebrated, milestones were achieved, and family traditions were built. Letting go of that can feel like losing part of their identity. For adult children, helping aging parents make this transition can be just as challenging. You may be worried about their safety, their financial future, or their emotional well-being. Balancing these concerns with respect for their independence can feel like walking a tightrope. Add to this the logistical stress of packing, downsizing, and finding the right place to move. It's no wonder so many families feel stuck. The truth is, moving doesn't mean leaving behind what matters most. It's about simplifying life while creating space for new memories, deeper connections, and greater peace of mind. For seniors, this might mean finding a home with fewer stairs, less maintenance, or closer proximity to loved ones. For their children, it's about ensuring mom and dad have the comfort and support they need for this next phase of life. We specialize in helping seniors and their families navigate these decisions with compassion and clarity, whether it's preserving the memories that matter most or planning a future that prioritizes safety, financial health, and connection. We're here to make the transition easier. Bottom line, if you or your parents are unsure about how to start this process, let's have a conversation. As certified liability advisors, I can help families explore options that honor both emotional ties and practical needs. Together, we'll create a plan that works for everyone. Give me a call today at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's put together that game plan for you as a senior or the kids of seniors. I'm not sure. I'm right on the cusp. I don't have any parents around anymore, but I don't think I'm a senior. Well, maybe if I go to certain restaurants, I'm a senior. That is the Who Do You Know segment brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. More homes, slower price growth, what it means for you as a buyer. There are more homes on the market right now than there have been in years, and that could be a game changer for you if you're ready to buy. Let's look at 2 reasons why. You have more options to choose from. As an article from Realtor.com explains how much the number of homes for sale has gone up. Quote, were 29.2% more homes actively for sale on a typical day in October compared with the same time in 2023, marking the 12th consecutive month of annual inventory growth and the highest count since December 2019, unquote. And while the number of homes on the market still isn't quite back to where it was in the years leading up to the pandemic, this is definitely an improvement. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart. The number of homes for sale is on the rise. With more homes available for sale now, you have more options to choose from. As Hannah Jones, senior economic research analyst at Realtor.com explains, quote, though still lower than pre-pandemic, burgeoning home supply means buyers have more options, unquote. That means you have a better chance of finding a house that meets your needs. It also means the buying process doesn't have to feel quite as rushed because more options on the market means you'll likely face less competition from other buyers. Home price growth is slowing when there aren't many homes for sale. Buyers have to compete more fiercely for the ones that are available. That's what happened a few years ago, and that's what drove prices up so quickly. By now, the increasing number of homes on the market is causing home price growth to slow down. Remember, it's still growing, it's just slowing down. So we're not going backwards, we're still growing. And again, if you want to see what this is happening in your zip code, rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. That comes out every week from our friends over at Altos Research. In certain markets, the number of available homes has not only bounced back to normal, but has even surpassed pre-pandemic levels. In those areas, home price growth has slowed or stalled completely. As Lance Lambert, co-founder of Resi Club, explains, quote, generally speaking, housing markets where active inventory has returned to pre-pandemic 2019 levels have seen home price growth soften and even decline outright from their peak 2022 peak, unquote. Slower or stalled price growth could give you a better chance of finding something within your budget, as Dr. Anju Vajay, Deputy Director at the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, says, quote, for the third consecutive month, U.S. house prices showed little movement. Relatively flat house prices may improve housing affordability, unquote. But remember, inventory levels and home prices are going to vary by market. So having a real estate agent who knows the local area can be a big advantage. They can help you understand the trends in your community, which can make a real difference in finding a home that fits your needs and budget. Bottom line, more housing options and the slower home price growth they bring can help you find and buy a home that works for your lifestyle and budget. So don't hesitate to reach out if you want to talk about the growing number of choices you have right now. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. If you're looking to sell a house, our most current home seller guide is available now for free to you. rsrhsg.com, rsrhsg.com. Get the home seller's guide. We update it every quarter. If you're thinking about buying a house, rsrhbg.com. Again, we update that one every quarter, rsrhbg.com. And as interest rates are rising, I'm going to start putting out some things right here that a lot of folks, you just need to hear. So here's the issue. Those people who say you cannot get a 30-year loan under 4% in today's market, please get out of the way from those of us that are doing it. rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. So far, and that's not an easy loan to get. I will grant that. But it is a 30-year loan. And right now, the effective APR depends on your situation, but I just did one the other day that was 1.76 effective APR. 1.76. I did a simulation for somebody Thursday. They were, I think, just at 2%, maybe a couple of ticks over. Again, if people are telling you it can't be done, get out of the way from those of us that are doing it. rsrhomeselect.com. And if you don't qualify for the Home Select, why not? Well, it's probably because you don't have a game plan. And I'm going to share with you the game plan. It's just 2 steps. rsrlinks.com/2step. rsrlinks.com/2step. What are the 2 steps? Well, we need to make sure your credit score is where it should be. And we need to make sure your ratios are in line. How do we do that? Well, we take a look at what your current debt structure is. As certified liability advisors, We're always looking to build wealth through strategic debt management. Now, if you bought your house more than 2 years ago, well, you might have a loan that's at 4% or less, but you also have a lot of equity. The flip side, on the other side of the balance sheet, you may be like a lot of people who have a lot of debts, credit card debt, auto debt, student loan debt. And credit cards are now averaging 22.84%. 22.84. rsrlinks.com/2step. What do? So we look at your current financial structure. We say, okay, if we consolidate everything into a new loan, you're going to save $400, $500, maybe $1,000 a month in cash. You use that for the next 6 months, paying down the mortgage principal. What we're doing is we're restructuring into a new loan, paying down that principal, knowing that we're paying a little extra money because of it being a cash out loan. Don't worry about that. What we're worried about is long-term wealth, building wealth. So when you pay off all that debt, as long as you don't go and do it again, rack up those credit card bills, you're going to see if you do this the right way and you follow what we tell you, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. If you follow that process, then what you're going to see is your FICO scores are going to improve dramatically. If we have some issues, we might need to bring in some outside sources or services. But then what we're going to do is we're going to look and see if our Home Select loan is right for you, or what program might be right for you to build that wealth strategically. Long-term wealth through strategic debt management is what we're talking about here. And we talk about that every day on Ron Siegel Radio. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.